So I am Miss Rhea Manila, your science teacher for this school year. So for today, we will be discussing our first lesson in science. So lesson 1 is all about introduction to science and technology. So in this lesson, under this lesson, we have the definition of science and technology, the branches of science, and as well as the recent developments in technology. Okay, so here are the general objectives in this lesson. So we have, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to know what is science and its main branches, and also to give the importance of science and technology in our daily life. So let's first have the definition of science. So science comes from the Latin word scientia, which means having knowledge. So science is the knowledge gained from using observations and experiments to describe and explain the world around us. Scientific understanding can always be challenged with new ways of observing and with different interpretations. So science as a product and process. Science as a product is an ever-changing body of knowledge. Science is first an ongoing process of investigating and thinking. Second, a way of thinking which involves reasoning. And last, a way of investigating which involves questions, observations, experimentations, and predictions. Okay, so let's now have the definition of technology. Technology is known as an application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. So in technology, we are applying all the knowledge we have gained through science to create products. So technology uses the concepts and ideas of science in developing products that assist people in their daily lives. So we have many developments or products that help us in our daily lives. It can also be used to solve pressing problems that we encounter. So for example, electromagnetism gave rise to the invention of generators and power plants. Furthermore, the discovery of the conductive properties of metals brought about the use of copper wires, which enabled the transmission of electricity over long distances. So here are some other recent developments in our technology being used today. So here are some helpful developments in technology. So we have first the laser. Laser is the acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission radiation. So it has been used to encode and decode CDs and DVDs, cut glass and steel, and study the composition of the atmosphere. Today, this technology made bloodless operation possible. Laser has become a valuable tool for industry, communication, and medicine. So laser has become a help also in terms of the industry, in our industry, communication, and medicine. So another one, we have CT and MRI scanner. So CT or CAT is an acronym for computerized action tomography. Using a type of an X-ray device, it can detect disorders of soft internal organ tissues in the body. It can identify cancerous cells, small fine bones, and soft organs in an easier and more accurate way. Magnetic resonance imaging or MRI and positron imaging can produce pictures of the interior of the body by using the magnetic properties of substances inside the bodies. Powerful computers process the data from the scanners to create a clear image of the body parts being examined. Next, we have cellular phones. So cellular phones is very common to everyone. So cellular phones alternatively referred to as a cellular and cellular phone. A cell phone, sometimes abbreviated as CP, is a mobile or portable phone. It enables a user to communicate almost anywhere in the world. So it is mostly used for communicating. Another one, we have GPS or Global Positioning System. It is a satellite navigation system used to determine the ground position of an object. GPS technology was first used by the United States military in the 1960s and expanded into civilian use over the next few decades. So today, GPS receivers are included in many commercial products such as automobiles, smartphones, exercise watches, and GIS devices. Another one, we have internet. The internet is a global network of billions of computers and other electronic devices. With the internet, it's possible to access almost any information, communicate with anyone else in the world, and do much more. You can do all of this by connecting a computer to the internet, which is also called going online. When someone says a computer is online, it's just another way of saying it's connected to the internet. Okay, let's now have the aim of the scientific study. So, a scientific study aims to explain the events of nature in a reproducible way and to use these findings to make useful predictions. Okay, how scientific studies are done? So, scientific studies are done by first observing the natural phenomena and by experimentation. So, scientific studies, we already know that when we conduct scientific studies, that means we are conducting experiment. So we cannot conduct experiment without observing, of course. And also, the experimentation tries to simulate, mimic or natural events under controlled conditions. What are the features of science? So first, science can use experiments to prove scientific concepts. Next, science can be used to construct theories, and a scientific theory should be falsifiable. What is not science? Okay, what is not science is also called as non-science. So, pseudoscience is anything that does not follow the accepted principles and rules that science follows. So, don't forget that pseudoscience, that is the anything that does not follow the accepted principles and rules of science. So, it can be anything that cannot be studied by the science. It may be anything that is not possible to explain with science. Examples of these are ethics, morals, religion and religious beliefs, and values. These are areas beyond the realm of science and are not testable. These concepts are based on the faith and belief of human. Those that you believe, those are your traditions. So that is considered as pseudoscience because it is not based on facts of science. So that is just your own opinion or own tradition. So last we have the significance of science. First, we have in terms of medicine. So science has helped man to study and grow his knowledge on the human body and contribute towards saving millions of lives worldwide. Various incurable diseases can now be treated with the development and invention of new medicine. So, science is very much helpful in terms of medicine or in our medical industry. So, with the development or discovery of different technologies that can be used in treating diseases. So, those are just examples of the usefulness of science or the application of science in terms of the medical industry. So next we have communication. So the invention of internet and mobile phones are perhaps two of the most significant contributions of science to humankind with respect to communication. So we are now very much familiar with the use of cell phone, internet. So we can be able to communicate with anyone or everyone in different parts of our country or in different parts of in another country. Easier. We can communicate easier because of the inventions of the cell phones, internet, and also those technologies such as laptops. Okay, next one we have transportation. So, automobiles and transport industries cannot be left behind when it comes to talking of science and technology. Different modes of transport have been developed to carry people, machines, and other equipment from one corner to the other around the globe. So, in terms of transportation, we cannot disregard the significance of science or the usefulness of science in terms of transportation. So with the development of different transport materials, different automobiles, vehicles that we use in our everyday lives. So that is just few of the application or the importance of science in transportation. So next one we have agriculture. So various procedures have been developed to convert barren lands and deserts into fertile fields that can be used for cultivating crops and providing food for more people. So of course in agriculture, the use of the materials that the farmers use or the technologies nowadays that the farmers use in terms of cultivating crops. So that is also the importance of significance of science in terms of agriculture. Next we have entertainment. So television, radio, theater, mobile phones, CD players, iPads, and music systems have been a major source of entertainment to human race. Without science, this would not have been available to you. So I know you are with the existence of theater, cinemas, you can be able to watch different movies in cinemas. So through your even just in your cell phone, your iPad. So if you are bored, you can play music and then you will be entertained with the music. So other one is the radio, the television. That is just a few examples of the major source of entertainment to human race. Next, we have the values of science. So let's have first the moral value. So science is a search of truth and reality. Science develops morality by teaching truthfulness, and every scientist is a seeker of truth. So in science, every scientist, that's what I have mentioned. Every scientist is a seeker of truth. So we seek for truth. So we do not accept ideas that is not accepted by science. Okay. Next one we have aesthetic value. Everyone of science has a passion of truth. According to the well-known English poet Keats, truth is beauty, and science is an art. Everyone in science is an artist. Every scientist, every person, every human, every artist involved in developing ideas, discoveries, products in science is an artist. Okay, next we have psychological value. The entire teaching and learning process is based on fundamental principle of psychology. Science develops interest, motivation, and makes teaching learning process effective. So, science is very much an interesting subject. So, just what I have said earlier, so science develop interest. So, in terms of what? So, in terms of the discovery, the information, the ideas we gain through studying science. So, it also develops motivation and makes teaching learning process effective. Next, we have intellectual value. So, it introduces new ways of thinking and reasoning. It has its own disciplines. It helps to understand, evaluate, and solve numerous social problems of life. And next, we have the practical value. We are living in age of science and everything around us concerns science. So science has revolutionized means of transport. It has reduced the miseries of humanity and enabled them to live longer and happier. So with the ideas, the facts that we have gained through science, we are able to live our life more easier and happier. Okay.